I'm here with Joel Karsten, the author of the Straw Bale Garden book. Now, we did Straw Bale Garden this past year. You know, you see things on TV, you read books. It works exactly as the book says it does. And we went from one straw bale, we're going to go to about 6, 7 this year. Fantastic. Now, there is some questions that we've gotten from our viewers. Where do you get straw bales from? And you've got a place on your website that is kind of a network, don't you?
Yeah, it's a free site we built for farmers to list bales for sale. And then if you're looking for bales, you can find the contact information, or you can place a Straw Bales Wanted ad, and it's all free. It's called strawbalemarket.com. And we just provide it as a service. If you get a copy of the book, you'll see on the back cover we talk about Straw Bale Market. It's a great resource for people to be able to connect. But at the Wisconsin show here, people are stopping by leaving their business cards, different farmers that have straw bales. So that's a good place to go, is directly to your friendly farmer as well.
Now, you were talking that, straw bales, typically what we see back here, you can take big round bales and figure out a way of cut them in half and have, it may not be the most ideal thing, but it could work.
Yeah, I do have lots of people that will do that. They have the great big round bales and they'll cut them in half with a chainsaw. Kind of gums up your saw, so borrow your neighbors like you suggested. And when you cut it in half and then flop it down so you have two big donuts, if you try to use a whole big bale, it's hard to keep the whole thing wet. And if you can't keep a bale wet, you're going to get mice, rodents. So I really encourage you to cut it in half. That way you can keep it nice and moist all the way through. And you'll get at least 2 years out of those halves of the big round bales. Same thing with the big squares. People have a lot of big squares. If you can figure out how to cut those in half, they work well also.
Now, any type of straw works, but rye straw bales, there's some techniques that not all seeds are going to germinate in rye. There's some things you got to do.
Yeah, rye is notorious for preventing germination of some seeds. So if you're using rye bales, you never want to put your seeds directly in the bale. Some seeds will still germinate, but there are certain ones that won't. You can Google a list of those if you want to find it. But I encourage people to put a seed bed on top of the bale using sterile planting mix. Never use your soil, because if you put a shovel of soil, you just bring weed seeds and disease and insects.
You're going back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So get some sterile planting mix, make a seed bed 1 inch or 2 inches deep, and then put your seeds, whatever you're going to plant from seed, in that. If you're doing transplants, you can put those right into the rye bale. That won't hurt anything. It's about germination. It's not about root growth or anything like that. It's just about the seed germinating.
I see. And for people who want to get your book that didn't come to the expo, where's the best place they can get it?
Buy it on my website. I'll send them an autographed copy. It's strawbalegardens.com, or you can just Google Straw Bale Gardens and you'll find us. We're everywhere. We're on Facebook. If you go to Learn to Grow a Straw Bale Garden on Facebook, we have just under 100,000 followers there that are talking about straw bale gardening all the time. There's several groups on Facebook as well that I'm not part of that talk about straw bale gardening and all the benefits of it, etc. So there's lots of information available out there, but if you really want the secret recipe and the techniques that I've developed, my method, the best place is to get a copy of the book.
Right, because you just can't throw a bale on the ground and plant seed. There's a conditioning process, and you go about over that in the book.
And there's a lot of people online that'll tell you how to do it and give you their advice. But I always tell people, if you're going to learn to do sword swallowing, do you want to learn from somebody who's done it and who invented sword swallowing, or do you want to learn from somebody who just learned yesterday and wrote a book about it?
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Joel.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.